It's your boy Clarence. I just hit a mill.
Facts.
You feel me? Doing big things. Go get your royalty merch.
Facts.
Yo,
Nick came and blessed us.
Yo, go get your
Spicy
merch,
baby
bro.
blue.
You feel me? Royalty. We kings
You
and
can't
queens
ask
out
for
there.
better.
You heard?
We kings
Can't
and
ask
queens.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl NEEKG, the host, and today I'm coming back with something different. Welcome to all the new people, because I know this video is definitely going to bring a lot of new traffic. I am the spicy mentor. No, I'm playing. I am a friend of the Spicy Gang. I'm here to address a couple things because I was a little bothered by some of the videos that have come out recently. We're going to address these issues, and the only way I feel like these issues can be addressed is through the manager of the Spicy Gang. Everybody has said their piece who had anything to do with the Spicy V-Day. People have made accusations of these people being scammers. You know, pretty much just call them thieves, you know, thieves and just really attacking their character. So since we haven't heard from the manager who pretty much put this thing together, I think we should know what really happened on her end as well. So it's two sides to a story, and then there's the truth. So you got one person who has their own story, the second person who has their story, and then there's the truth. So we just gonna see what the manager has to say. She's gonna go play by play. I'm gonna ask her questions. She does not want to be on camera, but as you guys can see, I'm at Clarence NYC's house, and the manager is, you guys will be able to hear her voice. So how you doing, spicy manager?
I'm good.
What is your name?
Lee.
Okay. And when was Spicy V-Day?
February 14th.
February 14th.
Originally scheduled for the 17th, and then we discussed it, and it was moved to the 14th for Valentine's Day.
Okay. What city and state was this in?
Orlando, Florida.
Okay. Now, what I would like to know, because I am a promoter as well, and as a promoter, you have certain guidelines that you have to go by. Number one, you have to pay the entertainer half deposit down, and when they get to the event, you have to pay them the back end before they go into the club or anything. Before they do anything, you have to have them their money. Okay. Also, it is the promoter's job to promote this party. The promoter has to promote the party, point blank, period. If it's not in the contract for the entertainer to promote, they don't have to promote at all. So before anybody does anything, a contract needs to be written up. So they need to let the entertainer know what they need to do. So with that being said, before anything happened and you guys discussed having this event, what were the conversations of the party in general? What you guys had to bring, what you guys had to do, how much you had to pay before you got there, you know, things like that. I just kind of want to run down that.
All right, so I was reached out. Who reached out? I think her name was Jessica. It was the girl on the Spicy V-Day Live, right?
Yes.
Okay, so she emailed inquiring about Clarence. That part that she said was true. Then she emailed me again saying, okay, would it be okay with Clarence if we book Queen on the same day? So that part is true as well. And I talked to Clarence, and he said he didn't mind. And then I proceeded to ask her, do you have a way of reaching out to Queen? Because I know, because Queen was here, that Queen doesn't really answer her emails. She doesn't do bookings. She's never done it. And so I asked the promoter. The promoter said, I've been trying to reach out to her, but I haven't had any success. I said, would you like me to reach out to Queen? She said yes, and I did. Okay. Came back. I said, look, I talked to Queen. She's willing to do it. Have a booking with Clarence. They asked me how much. I said $10,000. Okay. So as a promoter, you know, it's what I want.
Absolutely. That is your price.
It doesn't make it a scam.
No, it's
what I want.
What the entertainer tells the promoter is their price, and that's what they feel they deserve. Not only that, you have to pay for travel, you have to pay for your housing, you have to pay for your transportation, you have to pay for your food, you have to pay for all of that. So this is not just, hey, give me 10,000. That 10,000 already gets cut in half off of expenses due to you just coming to the event. Okay.
Because we don't live in Orlando.
And you don't live in Orlando.
Okay, so I said 10,000 all in. You know you could get paid two ways, right?
Right.
It could be all in, or it could be the booking fee plus travel plus hotel
Right,
plus
exactly.
ground transportation.
So you did not tell them that you wanted 10,000 plus room,
No,
plus
it was
flights.
10,000 all in. You pay us 10,000.
Okay.
We'll take care of all the expenses because for their safety,
Uh-huh.
I don't want them to know where we're staying,
Right.
when we're getting in,
Right.
what time,
Right.
because I mean they're quite popular. They have a large platform, and I want to make sure my client's safety are my number one priority at all times.
Okay, so you cared about the safety because you didn't want anything to happen to your clients.
Correct.
Via being in Florida, you never been there and things like that.
Right.
Okay, so you decided to get your own housing.
I made it clear.
transportation,
10,000 all in,
flights. Okay.
and that's it.
All right, so as a promoter, normally when I've done parties as well, when you're booking somebody, and you ask them what their price is, most people say their price, and then you also have to pay for 2 flights. You have to pay for 2 rooms, you have to pay for transportation, and you also have to feed them in most cases. You have to make sure they have bottles at the club, which is way more money. So if you told them that you only wanted 10,000 all in, that's definitely a deal. Because if it would have been 10,000 plus extra, they would at least paid 11,000, if not more.
But that was what I initially requested for booking both of them.
Okay.
Then she proceeded to say, well, let me just book Queen.
Right.
So I went back to Queen. I've had conversations with Queen.
Uh-huh.
Queen has never done a booking before. Queen doesn't know what it takes. She basically told me, if they don't book us together, I'm not doing the booking.
Okay. And would you have been okay with that? If you told her that Queen didn't want to get booked by herself, and they said, well,
Forget everything?
yeah,
Totally.
you would have been fine.
I would have been fine with it. Either they were booking just Clarence, or they were booking her and Clarence. There was no option for Queen by herself,
Right.
and that was a decision that Queen made herself.
Exactly.
All I did is merely pass the information along.
Okay.
Okay, so at that point they said, that's too much, whatever, the club side, whatever. I don't really care what the club side is and all that. I just said, okay, cool, left it alone.
Okay, which means you turned it down.
Yes, communication ceased
Okay.
between Jessica and I.
Okay, so
if that's her name, I'm not sure where her name
right.
is,
So
but
do you even know if she is a promoter? Is she a promoter?
I have no idea. She's just someone that emailed the booking email, and I was responding. I get thousands of these emails that I'm responding to, and that was just one in particular that I responded to. That's all.
Okay. So you denied it because obviously it was too much for them in the first place.
Well, let's say they denied it because I set my price,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't meet my
And
price.
you were okay with that.
Completely.
Okay.
I do it all the time.
All right, exactly. So it's obvious that it was already too much in the first place, so they might not have been able to bring up $10,000. So how did it get to $8,500?
Okay. So at this point, there's 2 days pass by, and now I get a phone call from a male.
Uh-huh.
His name is Gio, and he says he's a promoter and that I've been talking to his girlfriend Jessica. Again, if that's her name, because
Okay,
I'm not.
so
I don't remember.
allegedly Jessica is who you've been talking to, or the girl who was in the live video
Yes,
recently, the Spicy
V.
V-Day.
Let's call her Jay. Let's
just go with Jay.
Yeah, let's go with
So
Jay.
it sounds like to me Jay is not a promoter because
Correct.
Jay is Gio's girlfriend.
Correct.
And Gio is the promoter who you went through with payment and all of that?
Well, here's the thing. From that point on, negotiations were had with Gio, no longer Jessica,
Okay.
and payment was handled by Jessica, not Gio. Make sense?
It sounds like a lot already. So, Gio is definitely the promoter you ended up speaking with after she denied the $10,000.
Right.
And then after speaking with him, she comes back up because she's the one who's supposed to pay you. Correct?
Well, I don't care who I get payment from,
Right,
to
right,
tell you
right.
the truth.
But she was speaking
But it
with you
just
about
so
the payment.
happens that all my communication with her after the email exchanges were only for payment purposes.
Okay.
She never, past that point, she never negotiated. I never heard from her. It was only hey, Jay's gonna send you money, and then she'll text me or call me, did you get it? Because you know you have to give a deposit.
Right.
Okay, but let's get back to the negotiation, right?
All right.
So she declined the 10,000. I was clearly fine with that. We left it alone. 2 days later, 3 days later, whatever the time period was, I get a phone call from a gentleman named Gio, and he says, "Hey, you talked to my girlfriend Jay, and I really would like to get Queen and Clarence down here."
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. And he was like, you know, I'm a promoter, and I promote at a lot of clubs, and here Tampa and Orlando and this and that and all these different places. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so this might be a relationship that I might want to establish because I can get these guys some money.
Definitely.
So then I was like, and because I'm not all about the money, I'm looking at the potential relationship that I can build with this guy.
So you could get booked in other cities.
Yeah, so I could get booked again.
In other cities in Florida.
Yeah, other cities, multiple bookings. I mean, this is a source of revenue for my clients.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? He was like, can we do anything? Can we come down any? So this is all verbal. I'm not speaking to Jessica no more, okay?
Okay.
She's out the picture. So, I mean, we're going back. Back and forth. Like, I want to say 2 or 3 days we went back and forth. But basically the gist of it was, I'll come down to 8,000.
Okay.
So we originally set for 8,000 for the 17th. And that's what we both agreed to. And I said, I'd never go less than 10,000. But because I want to establish a relationship with you, you say you're a promoter for different clubs, let's do it at 8,000.
Right.
Okay. He said, great, thanks for working with me. He was like, don't worry, we're gonna do well on this, and then I'm gonna book you again, and all these different things. And I said, cool.
And he was fine with the price.
He was fine with the price at 8,000 for February 17th.
Okay, so with him paying that 8,000, he should have known.
All in.
All in, by the way.
8,000.
So he should have known that he would have been able to pull in the type of crowd that he needs to get his money back, which has nothing to do with you. I'm just explaining on the promoter's level. Oh, Queen, so nice of you to join us.
Thank you so much. I just sat here to listen to the wonderful tea.
All right. So where we were at? Okay, so he
8,000 all in.
8,000 all in. And once again, what I was explaining is, as a promoter, you have to make sure when you pay these entertainers that the goal is to make money. Point blank, period. The entertainer wants to make money, and you want to make money. You got to make sure you get your money back of what you spent out. So he should have known that.
He can make more than that.
Exactly. He should definitely have been able to make more than that, because he should have been able to get the demand. So the demand was 8,000, get a crowd, get your money back. Everybody goes home happy.
If you're really a promoter.
If, and only if, you are really a promoter.
So he wasn't a real promoter.
I mean, I don't know what DBS Entertainment is.
You know, honestly, I'm not going to say that I don't think he's a promoter. I think he is a promoter. I just don't think that the girl is a promoter. I think the girl was the one who was initially supposed to spend the money, you know, and he was the one being the promoter.
But let me tell you something. If you're my girlfriend and I'm the promoter and you want to book them and they're telling me that it's 8,000 and I know for a fact that we cannot make that back, I'm not letting you do that.
I wouldn't have booked you at all.
Because this is what I do, so I know this, right? Okay.
So, all right. After that, you guys come to an agreement. Then what happened?
8,000 all in February 17th.
Yes.
Verbally, that's what we agreed on.
Okay.
So now, naturally, before I send out the contract for signature, I contact Queen and Clarence and I say, hey, we're locked in for 8,000 February 17th. Are you cool with that before I get the contract out? Queen says, no, that is my son's birthday.
Okay. She needs
not my
to be
child's birthday.
Right. So
right?
she need to be there.
So now I have to. So I'm like, oh shit. Now I gotta go back and I have to tell him. Before I'm able to go back and tell him, Gio calls me again.
Okay.
The club is booked that day. They're having they had something scheduled. Can we move it to February 14th? I said, are you talking about Valentine's Day? No, I'm talking about February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
I said, but that's Valentine's Day.
Right.
He was like, oh man, I didn't even realize that. So that was my first red flag.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. Okay.
Bet. Like as a promoter, you know the holiday.
This is what I'm saying. And but as a promoter, you also know that you pay more for holidays. Am I right?
That's a fact.
Okay. Because
It's supposed to be more people out. More people are supposed
more
to come
people out, but not only that, but the entertainer could be with his family
Anything.
or his loved one on Valentine's Day. And if he's going to be away from his family, significant other, there's a premium to pay for that.
All right.
Also, travel, hotel, ground transportation, all those things are more expensive on holidays than regular days.
Right.
Right? So then I said, okay, we can be, knowing the information that Queen gave me about her son's birthday being on Saturday, her not being able to do it, I'm like, okay, we could do Valentine's Day, but I need more money.
Right.
I can't do 8,000 all in. I need more. And he's like, well, you know, or whatever. I say, you know what? Let me, just because I wanted to, one, build a relationship with a promoter who supposedly had all these different clubs. Two, the idea of Clarence and Queen doing a booking together
It's sexy.
is just
And on Valentine's
spicy
Day.
as hell.
Right.
And I feel like people wanted to see that.
Right.
So for that, just looking from that lens, I was like, yo, let me try to make this happen. I said, let me call you back. I got on immediately on the internet. I looked at the price difference between what it would cost to book the flights on the 17th versus the 14th. I looked at the hotel differences and I came up with a number of $500.
Okay.
That I would remain at the same place, and whatever the difference was because of the holiday, that he would have to cover. So I called him back. I said $8,500, and I explained to him how I came up with the extra $500.
Okay.
I said the flights are more. The flights are slightly more. The hotel is slightly more. The ground transportation we would have to book is slightly more
Because this is a holiday.
because this is a holiday.
Exactly.
And he said no problem.
Okay, so he was willing to pay it. You explained to him why you're charging him more and all of that, and why you were charging him $8,000 from the jump anyway. So first of all, it went from $10,000 to $8,000 because you were cutting them a break, because technically they didn't have everything that you needed to book them in the first place. So then you changed the date, changed it to the 14th, which became an inconvenience because that's definitely Valentine's Day. You would like more money instead of going above and beyond. You only went up $500 more to make sure that you had enough money for all of your expenses.
Correct.
Okay. So after he agreed to that and you guys were done, pretty much everything is settled, you sent him a contract, correct?
Correct.
So,
Which I will provide.
okay. Definitely going to throw the contract up on the screen, if not the whole contract, bits of it. Or are you
No,
gonna
yeah, I'll black out
Okay.
what I don't want people to see, but the gist of the contract will be in there.
All right, so we're definitely going to throw up the contract up on the screen. And pretty much so as the contract holder,
Because you saw it.
Yeah,
I showed you.
I definitely seen the contract myself, and you know, as a promoter, you can send your own contract because you need to make sure you cover yourself. It's a lot of liabilities that you can have as a promoter, just in case anything happens. So you need to make sure that you know you can cover yourself and the entertainer. So instead of the promoter sending off a contract, the entertainer sent their contract, which means you have to do anything in the entertainer's means. Okay, so you sent him the contract, he signed the contract.
Correct.
Okay, so if he signed the contract, then he definitely should have read over the whole contract before he signed it, because everything in black and white is what matters. Nothing else matters. So anything with a conversation does not matter. If anybody wants to take it to court, it wouldn't matter because it's not in black and white. So after he signed the contract, I keep hearing about this meet and greet thing.
Well, before that, let me say this.
Okay.
I sent the contract. He signed it.
Yes.
The second red flag for me was that it says that within 3 days of the date on the contract listed above, that you are to make the deposit. So I'm like, pretty much he didn't send the deposit right away. So I'm like,
Signed the contract and did not send the deposit.
right, because upon execution, you're supposed to, I mean, one would think if you have the money, you want to lock in this date, that you would send the deposit.
Right.
So in the contract, I have a clause in there that basically says that the date is listed on the contract, because I put what date we're entering into the contract. Within a specific period of time, if the deposit is not received, then this contract is now null and void, pretty much.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna allow you for a month to go by the day before, and now you try to send a deposit and we're obligated.
Right.
Right? I got to book flights. I got to book hotel. I got to book ground transportation. So I need, and you know, those things go up as you get closer to the date. So I'm not trying to let you raise my expense. I budgeted everything out.
Right.
So I'm trying to book these things within a specific period of time.
Right.
So I think he ran all the way to he wasn't picking up my phone calls when I was like, yo, this is going to run out. Not because I'm thirsty for the money, because I don't really care, but I'm just making him aware, just in case he didn't read the contract, that if this is not received by X date, this contract is a dub. Okay? He didn't pick up the phone the first day. I think I had trouble. He was like, oh, I'm going to call you back. I'm at work. Yeah, I'm at work. I'll call you back. Okay, he texted me that. He didn't pick up. But nonetheless, I get a phone call or a text message, I can't really remember, from Jessica. She popped back up. Because she's the one who's sending the money. But they sent the money in 3 different ways. I got some via Chase Quick Pay, some via Cash App, and was there another way? It might have been those 2. She sent Cash App twice. She was having issues with the Cash App. So...
Okay, because from my understanding, she took this out of her trust fund. And if you're taking anything out of your trust fund, you're not giving up. It's not going to be 3 payments. This is going to be a 1 payment thing. And most people don't even do the 3 payment thing. It's like, okay, have all my money, send it that way. I don't know too many people that would even receive that.
That was the third strike, third red flag, so to speak.
I just escort myself away from here real quick.
You received the payment in 4 different payments.
I don't know if it would. No, not 4. It might have been like 2 or 3.
Okay.
Like a Cash App and a PayPal. Like a mixture between 2, because she says she didn't have all the money in one place or something like that. Okay. I didn't care as long as I got the money, honestly. Okay. So I received $4,500 per the contract immediately upon execution of the contract, because the 500 half, it's not half. Because you get, as a promoter, you do half and then half upon arrival. Right. But the problem is that 500 was the difference for travel. So I requested half the booking fee of 8 plus 100% of that extra surcharge of 500 for the additional expenses that I would have to pay because of the change date. Right. So we received $4,500.
Okay. And because it was all in, you needed the extra 500.
I needed the money to book everything.
For sure.
Okay.
All right. So So after they paid you, obviously it's time to promote. Did you guys put out anything?
Okay. So after they paid me, because we don't do no promotions until we get the deposit. Right. Because he was asking me, "Oh, can you start promoting it once he signed the contract?" And I was like, "Absolutely not.
Promoters don't do that.
That's not how I roll.
Promoters know that doesn't happen." 4th
red flag for me. Right? Because if you're a promoter, I've booked things before. I've been a manager before. Like I'm used to things where this was different. I was used to working with real promoters. This was different.
That's like asking somebody, like asking him, his boss asking him to come to work, but don't clock in. I need you to work real quick, and then after a couple hours, I'll have you clock in.
Yeah, after he asked, that's like me asking for the deposit without me signing the contract. Exactly. That just doesn't make sense.
Okay, that didn't make sense at all.
Okay, so he sent me the deposit. I proceeded to book flights, hotel, and the ground transportation. I was not scheduled to go. I was sending Clarence and Queen. They were gonna have Mod the God, Ariel showing up, and
which is 2 extra.
Correct, but they each paid their way.
Okay.
They wanted to be at the Spicy V-Day.
Right.
I mean, there's that's Queen's best friend, that's Clarence's best friend. Right. Like, they wanted to be there.
Right.
I mean, people who roll with us are welcome to come. They gotta pay for. They didn't have to pay for a room because it's like, they're friends. They could come stay with us, ground transportation, jump in the car with us, but just pay your own flight.
Okay.
Ari and Mod the God agreed, paid for their flight, and that's who was going. Okay. I wasn't scheduled to go.
Okay.
Everything was fine.
All right.
So now, the day I flew them out on the 13th. Yep. So they were all there a whole day before, and that's because Clarence was like, when I was booking the flights, send us down there a day early. We'd like to get some footage for you two out there It'd be great for us to do that instead of just running in there on the 14th, do the event, and then leave the next day.
Right.
So I was like, cool. Plus, the tickets were cheaper the day before. So, like, they went in on the 13th. Cool. I'm over here doing what I do. They out there, talk to them, make sure they landed safely. They were at the mall the last that I spoke to them. And my brother called me that night. Or he texted me. He texted me. He's like, Lee, you have to come down here.
And why did he say that?
So then she proceeded to say, why don't you take the money from the door to pay her?
Right.
And he was like, nah, I don't want to do that. So what that told me was that you don't have enough money at the door to cover the back end. But still, you're not supposed to take the money from the door.
No, you definitely
to pay me. You should have the money separate.
Exactly.
Especially if Jessica said this was from her savings.
That's my thing.
She said she had the money in her savings. If you had the money, sweetheart, in your savings,
shouldn't have been no problem.
it shouldn't have been a problem. No door, no nothing.
Nope.
You should have had the money.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now Gio says, hold on.
Okay.
And he walks away. So now it's just me, George, everybody else is in the car, and the security.
Right.
And the security's like, man, you're kind of rough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you real strict. And George, my brother, was like, yeah, what's the problem?
Right.
Right? And he's like, nah. He was like, if y'all don't go upstairs, I'm telling you right now, I'm going home. I'll lose my job because I'm definitely not trying to control that crowd up there.
So it was a crowd.
Yeah, you could hear them. They was chanting Queen and Clarence the whole time.
Okay.
And when I went to look at the VIP route, I couldn't see nothing but cameras, lights, all of that.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to go up there. I wanted to go up there.
Right.
But I wasn't going to let my clients go up there without their money.
Right.
So now it's about 15, 20 minutes passed by. I'm like, yo, they got about 5 more minutes and we out.
Right.
Okay. All of a sudden, Gio walks from the back with Jess and like 3 other guys. So they come back and they're like, he's going to send you the money and then he's going to send you that and then she's going to send.
And this is not cash.
No, not cash. So basically his friend, Chase Quick, paid me $2,000. Jess, his girlfriend, she cash at me $500, and then she cash at me $500 again, and then she cash at me $500 again. So it was 3 different. Like, yeah, it was crazy. But as soon as I got all the notifications on my phone and I checked my PayPal account, my Quick Pay account, and it equated to $4,000, I didn't really care how they did it. I was trying to get my clients in there because they wanted to see their fans.
So once again, you get to the club.
Yep.
You go through all these issues of payment.
Yep.
You end up getting your payment though.
Mm-hmm.
And you still went on with the party.
Correct.